I walked into the research room where everybody is at home now doing the research, and I looked at a chalkboard that I haven't seen in 5 months. And about a year and a half ago, how long have we been in this studio? Because we've been in here for at least a year with that set over there, because we were in the other set on stage 3 when I put that up there. And so it's got to be at least a year. And I wrote out all of the things that were coming. And I don't know if, I think I probably told Pat. It came to me in a moment of, kind of God inspiration, if you will. And I wrote it all down. And then I fleshed it out and I put it up on the board. And I said, these are the things to watch for. And I put them all down and fleshed them out on the board. So it was like 8 different topics, 10 different topics. And I said, watch these topics. This is the most important thing we can do. Because when we start to see these things go awry, we're in trouble. And when I left here 5 months ago, there really wasn't any check mark on that board. And I posted it last night. And if you look at the white X's, those are check marks on it's happening now. I came in this morning and I boiled all of those things down to 4 things, and we talked about them before. And I said, this is how we get to the end of America. These are the things that you're going to need to watch for. The first one was polarization and civil unrest. Critical stage, 1930s European levels, left, right, Nazi, Antifa, communist, Islamist riots in the streets.
Huh.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we've seen none of that.
None of that.
So
that's box. Would you check box number 1?
Oh, yeah.
Box number 2, economic destabilization, critical stage.
No, we're fine. I would not check that one.
Yeah. Bank and central bank failures, stock market plunge, which has gone the other way, price collapse, which is coming. But I would check most of that, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
Economic destabilization is
Certainly,
at least
we've
there.
been destabilized.
Right.
No doubt about it. It's been propped up, but obviously
Right.
destabilization is not something anyone would argue over.
Right. Okay. So we're halfway through the 4 things. Tech disruption, critical stage, jobs being displaced because of technology, jobs, finance, communication, and privacy. So what?
Listen to the James Altucher thing that we talked about earlier today, where these companies are going to use COVID as this opportunity,
to cut all these
not
things.
in a nefarious way, but like they naturally had to send people home, and then they all kind of realized,
we don't need it.
Just have them stay home. I mean, the internet's working fine. We're doing these meetings. I haven't been in maybe every once in a while, but that's about it. What happens to the commercial real estate market when that happens?
What happens to privacy just because of COVID?
Yeah.
Look at how we're being
Contact
tracked.
tracing, all of that
all
kind of
of
stuff.
that stuff. Communication, the election, that all is, that's all coming to play. So that's tech disruption. Would you check that box?
Oh, yeah.
I would.
Number 4, probably won't check this box, though. Trust implosion. Critical stage. Trust lost with government, media, tech, finance, justice, corporations, and EDU.
Ta-da! You didn't even include like institutions like the police,
Right.
Which,
Right.
half the country now no
Right.
longer thinks should even be exist.
I would absolutely check all 4 of those boxes.
All 4 of those boxes.
We're there.
The only thing that is left is when all 4, well, I said a year ago or a year and a half ago, when all 4 of those boxes are checked, then you're ready for the New World Order. I just got the name wrong. It's called the Great Reset. It's the Great Reset. And that's what's coming. Even James talked about it today in so many words. He said there's just going to have to be a new kind of order that comes about because this one no longer works. I mean, that is what this election is about, whether you are going to keep the Constitution of the United States or we are going to be reset in a new global order. And it's as plain as that. And with what's happening, now in our streets and what the Democrats are planning to happen after the election, we could be in civil war by January. I think this, and I don't think that's hyperbole.
Well, the left has been setting up trouble after the election for, I don't know, a year or two. But they've been really intense about it lately. But even the right is doing the same. Sometimes, President Trump has played into that by saying that the only way they can win is if it's a election fraud.
Yeah, it's rigged. Yeah.
Okay, both sides are setting us up for a non-peaceful transition of power for the first time in American history.
Never has this happened. Never has this happened. This is why I've asked you to please go to mygoogleresearch. Is it org?
It's com.
Yeah. mygoogleresearch.com, and please donate and tell everyone you know to donate so we can track it on what Google and YouTube and everybody else, what they're doing to sway this election. We've got to have evidence on it, and we all we need is $10 million.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
And we need it. We have done it before. This audience has done it before, but that was to save the lives of Christians. This is only to save all rights around the world. If we lose this election, especially due to fraud, there's just no coming back from it. There's just no coming back. And it's a little terrifying. However, you should know that, and I say this knowing what's going to be said about me, and I don't care, but it will be used against me to discredit me, but they've already done a healthy job at that. Anybody who has eyes and ears will know this to be true. I did not come up with these lists. I did not come up with the things I did, that I told you about 10 years ago. And I really felt like when I moved here, I kind of was left alone. I mean, I feel like God just was like, you're on your own. And then with this list about a year and a half ago, it started up again. And he's not doing these things and warning and showing and giving advanced warning because it's doomed. It's just not, he's not a God of false hope. So why is he warning? Why is he giving me this information to warn you in advance on what's coming? I'm not somebody that anybody in their right mind, let alone God, would pick to go, yeah, you know what, give it to that out of control loser alcoholic. Let him do it. I think he's doing it because this audience has the best chance of saving the republic, I think, out of anyone. I think I've always felt this way, that you are going to do something that changes the outcome. And we have to stick together, and we have to be peaceful. Imagine if the left takes control of our country and one person picks up a gun and shoots people who are rioting in the streets, all of our gun rights will be gone. They will not say these are peaceful protests. They didn't say the Tea Party was a peaceful protest. So what do you think they're going to say if we stand up and they're in charge? It's not going to go well. Keep your wits about you. Don't miss an episode of this show. Tell all of your friends. Don't stop worrying about the people who have already made up their mind. Could somebody come to you and change your mind with just a bunch of stuff that they heard on MSNBC? That's what they think when you come to them and say, Glenn Beck said this. You're not going to change their mind. Get the people who feel something is wrong. Because when I talk to people and say, it doesn't feel right, does it? We all have that gut feeling something really wrong is happening. Talk to them, inform them, and don't try to win. Just inform people.